that were like the turned-up earth which marked the animal tunnels in the bed of the dry stream. The posts sounded soft and hollow whenever Yusuf hit them, and emitted tiny grainy spores of rot. When he grumbled for food, his mother told him to eat the worms. "I'm hungry," he wailed at her, in an untutored litany he had been reciting with increasing gruffness with each passing year. "Eat the woodworm," his mother suggested, and then laughed at his exaggerated look of disgusted anguish. "Go on, stuff yourself with it any time you want. Don't let me stop you." He sighed in a world-weary way he was experimenting with to show her how pathetic her joke was. Sometimes they ate bones, which his mother boiled up to make a thin soup, whose surface glistened with color and grease, and in whose depths lurked lumps of black spongy marrow. At worst, there was only okra stew, but however hungry he was, Yusuf could not swallow the slimy sauce. His uncle Aziz also came to visit them at that time. His visits were brief and far between, usually accompanied by a crowd of travelers and porters and musicians. He stopped with them on the long journeys he made from the ocean to the mountains, to the lakes and forests and across the dry plains and the bare rocky hills of the interior. His expeditions were often accompanied by drums and tambouris, and horns and siwa, and when his train marched into town, animals stampeded and evacuated themselves, and children ran out of control. Uncle Aziz gave off a strange and unusual odor, a mixture of hide and perfume, and gums and spices, and another less definable smell which made Yusuf think of danger. His habitual dress was a thin, flowing kanzu of fine cotton, and a small crocheted cap pushed back on his head. With his refined airs and his polite, impassive manner, he looked more like a man on a late afternoon stroll, or a worshipper on the way to evening prayers, than a merchant who had picked his way past bushes of thorn and nests of vipers spitting poison. Even in the heat of arrival, amid the chaos and disorder of tumbled packs, surrounded by tired and noisy porters and watchful sharp-clawed traders, Uncle Aziz managed to look calm and at ease. On this visit, he had come alone. Yusuf always enjoyed his visits. His father said they brought honor on them, because he was such a rich and renowned merchant, Tajiri Nkubwa. But that was not all. Welcome though honor always was. Uncle Aziz gave him, without fail, a 10-honor piece every time he stopped with them. Nothing was required of him but that he should present himself at the appropriate time. Uncle Aziz looked out for him, smiled, and gave him the coin. Yusuf felt he wanted to smile too every time the moment arrived, but he stopped himself because he guessed that it would be wrong for him to do so. Yusuf marveled at Uncle Aziz's luminous skin and his mysterious smell. Even after his departure, his perfume lingered for days. By the third day of his visit, it was obvious that Uncle Aziz's departure was at hand. There was unusual activity in the kitchen, and the unmistakable mingled aromas of a feast. Sweet frying spices, simmering coconut sauce, yeasty buns and flatbread, baking biscuits and boiling meat. Yusuf made sure not to be too far away from the house all day, in case his mother needed help preparing the dishes or wanted an opinion on one of them. He knew she valued his opinion on such matters. Or she might forget to stir a sauce, or miss the moment when the hot oil is trembling just enough for the vegetables to be added. It was a tricky business, for while he wanted to be able to keep an eye on the kitchen, he did not want his mother to see him loafing on the lookout. She would then be sure to send him on endless errands, which is bad enough in itself, but it might also cause him to miss saying goodbye to Uncle Aziz.